All right, guys,
Mohammed,
welcome back to Lids and Liveries. Yes, are you worried about the liveries, Arfat?
ask me if I'm worried about the liveries.
Are you? Are you
I'm
worried?
worried about the liveries.
We- yes, we did that perfectly. It was
How
exactly as
much
we
carbon
rehearsed.
creep will there be this year?
All
Stay
right,
tuned.
starting from the bottom of the top. Now we hear. Let's go. What do you guys think?
Zauber!
Uh,
So I've included the
Oh, it
studio
looks.
shot and the live shot, so we get to see both.
Yeah, the studio one looks amazing. The live one looks a bit dull.
Yeah,
So if it
I
was
didn't
just
know
the
it was this
studio one,
cool.
I'd give it like a 9. Whereas the real life one, I'm gonna give a 7.
What did this happen to them last year too? Where in real life it looks like key lime and it looks so cool in the studio.
Yeah.
I know. So you said 7, Adam. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to say the same. Actually, it's so cool in the studio. I wonder
Yeah.
how it'll look on track. It's gonna be the same thing, right? Amazing in the day, at night, and okay in the day.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna give it an 8. Like either it's in some ways it looks like they just hired an intern. They put the gradient tool on the car, but in other
Do you know
ways
what?
it's
I'll tell you
still cool.
something. So I used to play a game called Motorsport Manager, right?
Okay,
And
sure.
I had my own team, and my team's livery was essentially the studio version of this. I had that bright green at the front, I had black at the back, and the only difference was I then had like gold detail on it.
hmm
But yeah, so I'm a big fan of the studio version, but the real life one doesn't
I
quite look the
see.
same.
See,
I
when I play F1, I make a black car with gold and yellow and
Hmm.
green to pretend that Lotus merged. So I also feel you.
I'm gonna go with 8 out of 10. I really like the studio one. That would be 10, but the live one maybe looks like a 7. So I'm gonna split the difference somehow. I'm gonna go with 8. Next one.
2, because they've got 2 different blues going on and no other ideas. The Duracell thing was cool to start with, but like the rest of the car lets this whole thing down. And they were like, "Oh, we're under some contractual obligation. We can't release our real livery because we have to, like, we can only show our real livery at the F175 event. So let's make up a fake livery for our, like, media day or whatever it is." And the fake one was better than this nonsense. Like, what is this? Like, they genuinely, the front of the car is a different color to the middle. It was a different color to the back.
That's
Because
how
they're trying to
gradients work.
merge 2 different. Oh, it's just so bad.
Adam.
Two-way. I'm starting to forget what good Williams look like anymore, so I'm confused. But I'm
Yeah,
gonna say
they
5.
used to be the kings of this. Literally,
Yeah,
they're
they
like,
really did.
we
The
start with a
Rothmans
dark blue.
ones, all of those years.
Yeah, and like, as we move towards the back of the car, the blue will fade, just like any aspirations we had of scoring points.
Oh man, you really said it.
I am gonna go with 5. I don't feel any way towards this. I'm very neutral. So 5.
I
Adam,
wish
what
you
do
the
you think?
best, James. Though I really do.
What'd you say, Adam, for it?
I said I wish you the best, James.
No.
I
What
really
score?
do.
What score do
Yeah.
you get?
Oh no, 5.
Okay.
You have the name of the best team principal on the side of your car.
Racing Bulls.
Oh.
Anyone not saying 10?
This
Yeah,
is a
no.
10.
Is anyone
This is a
not
10.
saying 10?
This is the clear favorite. The way Esteban was the clear favorite. And look at the
Like-
way the Bulls come out of the blue in the back. It's so
Yeah.
good,
It's
and it
so-
looks good in person too.
On track, it looks just like an 11, guys. And like I'm scared to do this because this team is so good at this that if they give us a 12 in Miami, it's gonna break the internet and break our scoring system. Because like, how? Like, who's doing this? Like, their
Yeah.
merch is way better too, but
No,
we
it's so
understand they're
good.
the only team that has it made by Hugo Boss. So that
It's so
makes sense. But
look at the way the logo is on the halo, like on the top, the rollover part, and then how it comes
stand it.
back in the nose. It's so good. Everything about this is good. There's nothing wrong.
the
Yeah.
red Honda, oh my god.
Okay, what do you guys think?
I don't mean this as an insult, right?
Okay, I love your builds up, Oro. It's so funny.
Okay. But Haas is the American team, and this looks very much like an American car. Like, if you showed me a NASCAR with this exact same livery, I'd be like, yeah, that looks like a typical NASCAR.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean they are. Yeah.
So,
The test livery was so good. It was like a 10 out of 10. They just made the white and the black work. But I don't know. This combo is okay. I feel the same way I did for the other one. I'm gonna go with like a 7.
I'm going to give it a 6. Like, it's not exciting. It's just competent. I don't have anything bad to say about it, but I don't have anything good to say about it.
That should be a
Here,
5.
this is what Arafat does. I'm going to do the same. There's your Haas NASCAR. You're
Yeah.
not wrong. That they're a NASCAR team.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually think that it's working, and I almost like with the steak, I'm concerned about rewarding carbon in this way, but I think they figured it out this year. This is like an 8 for me. It's pretty good.
Okay.
You guys said what, 6 and 7?
I said 7, he said 6, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. I like it. I like the blue and I'm the pink
I'm going to
guy.
give it a 10.
Guys,
Yeah,
I'm
you
the
are.
pink guy.
Well, yeah, we figured you out, man.
I'm going to give it a 10. I
No.
think, they've been experimenting with this Alpine blue and BWT pink for a couple of years, and they're like trying to work out the balance, and they've got it right this year. And it's hard for me to explain this car without having the Aston Martin next to it, because everything that this car does right, Aston Martin is doing wrong. So when we come to Aston, I'll come back to my explanation on this car.
Yeah.
Okay, my feeling about this one is like it was mixed. So I don't think it looked good in the stadium, which you see on the second one. And it might have been the blue lighting. Now, I've made myself very clear on this very show that the rosier pink, the more intense one that they brought in later is much better. So going back to Pepto Bismol was not the move, but the natural lighting, I wonder if it looked this good on track. Like the side pods look good. Like how did they really did make the blue and pink agree for the first time. And they've obviously taken the carbon criticism to heart, so that's an 8 from me. Would have been a 9 or 10 with a good pink.
Yeah. Okay, next.
Give it a season, maybe they'll pull it out.
Arafat.
So the whole thing with car design is one, like I did this the other day. I put Aston Martin F1 car from like 2020 onwards, and there's a series, you can see that on Google Images. They've got the car from each year. And in 2020 or whatever it was when they first became Aston Martin. No, I think was it 22 with the new cars? Yeah. Or 21, whenever the new cars came out. 22. They looked amazing, right? They had the yellow, they had the Aston Martin logo in yellow. It looked so good. And then progressively each year, the green has become dull for some reason. The other thing is, the way the Aramco logo comes up on the side in black, you get a black line across the side pod, which is 90 degrees to the direction the side pod is running in, right? Like you go back to the thingy did this last year. Alpine did this last year. Let me show you. I sent you pictures, right? So Alpine last year, right? Their pink ran like towards the top of the front tire.
Yeah.
Whereas this year, it follows the curve of the side pod. And Aston have done the opposite. They had a green that used to follow the curve of the side pod, but is now got this big black block going against it. And it really disrupts the flow of the car. So I'm giving them a 2.
Ooh.
So we kind of presaged this last year when we noticed that there was a carbon creep. Now, we don't have previous versus next, but most assuredly I can tell you this is further carbon creep up against what somebody in the audience, this is important to me as a Lotus fan, somebody said like, oh, we're losing the British racing green. Okay, this is sterling green, and don't you dare, first of all, tell me that you run British racing green when that's Lotus's color.
Look at that black. That line is in the wrong direction.
I don't see what you're talking about.
And second of all, if you want to be super pedantic,
see that line that runs that way?
Oh.
When the side pod runs that way?
Yeah.
Like it's forming a cross with the side pod.
Yeah,
It should go in the same curve as the side pod, not crossing against it.
So first of all, this is sterling green, and second of all, if you want to be pedantic about it, British racing green is actually Irish racing green, which is like a whole other thing we shouldn't get into now for various reasons. But yeah, we got the carbon creep. You've still got a nice emerald. I'm never going to hold that against you. I don't know if they had to do this white cap because of the new sponsor, presumably so, but doesn't mean it looks good. It's super weird. 6
So
out of
I
10.
think the 22 car was a 10 out of 10. Then the 23 car went a step away, so that was 9. Then last year was an 8, and I think we've again taken a step back. So I'm gonna go with 7. I feel good about that.
What did you say for this, Arafat?
I think I said 3
He said
or
2.
2. Can't
Yeah,
remember.
2.
The
Okay,
white cap
next.
is super weird.
Can I go first?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think
I'll go last. This is
So
just...
there's no studio shots of this car for some reason. Mercedes didn't release real images. The one on the left is the closest we have before they turned on the stage lights, and that's the angle that looks the best. And I think if they had left the whole thing black with that stripe of Listerine going through it, sort of like last year, I would have given it like a 10 out of 10. I love that. And I really like that they brought back the Mercedes stars coming down the back like of it, like the back halo area or whatever, the rollover. But the loss of the Ineos red is so significant, and they kept that stupid white and black combo from last year. Both of those things make me so mad. I'm giving this car a 3 out of 10.
Wow. I think that's fair.
Yeah, something's
I feel-
wrong here. It
yeah.
looks like it's like. Do you remember McLaren? In like the when they had Alonso and Button, and they lost all their sponsors, and the car had like that black and then a bit of a red stripe and a bit of yellow on the silver on the front and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like them losing the Ineos sponsorship at the top and all these things
Mm-hmm.
makes it feel like that era of McLaren where things were going wrong.
Yeah.
How is
And
there
it
no
just reminds
sponsor
me of
up
that
there
car.
at all? It looks so bad. There's no sponsor. Everybody else has a
Yeah,
sponsor.
guys jumping ship
Look.
on these guys, I wouldn't be surprised.
Look, sponsor. Even Haas has freaking MoneyGram. Where is their sponsor? I hate it.
So and what's even interesting is their sponsor that ran that part of Ineos up there owns a third of the team. Ineos and like people were like, "Hey Toto, are you falling out with Ineos?" He's like, "No, we're like the three amigos, me, Ineos, and Mercedes." And like Mercedes is an organization, not an amigo.
Okay.
Okay, so
But something is happening behind the scenes, and I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Score the car.
3 for the three amigos.
I'm
Adam,
going
what do
to
you
say
think?
the back looks awesome. The front looks terrible, so that's a 5.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
That looks great, man. That's the W12 back. Just it looks
Well,
terrible.
yes,
It's
but the
Formula E
W12,
front.
but the W12 had the red stars, which I think makes it look a lot better. But anyway.
This is meant to be me first, then, guys. Okay, so listen, I
The
just
deep
went
sigh.
on this whole thing about, consistency and all that. It's different when it's the car. Like the car, if you want to be consistent because that's your brand, nobody would say anything against Ferrari. Looks good. The blue, like in some lights, looks like it's more navy. Like they've gone a little harder on the blue this year. Other subtle stuff, I can't tell. They lost. I don't think they have BBIT anymore. You have one there, but I think that's from last year. The one on the right is probably. I think that's correct. I could be wrong. Yeah. Why would they still have Claro? Do they really? Probably not. No, AT&T instead of. So I think it's previous and new you have there.
So,
but in any case, like this brand is powerful now, and I get it. I wish that they put some gold or something cool on there, but I can't go lower than an 8.
I think they need to do something.
Beautiful.
Like this is a very 5 out of 10 car because it's like we know what we get with Red Bull. They don't change anything. It's like it looks fine, but like every few years, Ferrari. I know you said like no one would say anything against Ferrari, but they find a way of keeping their cars interesting by they have a couple of years of red and white, and then they have a couple of years of red and black, and a couple of years of red and white, a couple of years
red
of
and gold,
black.
sometimes red and gold are in there.
And I wish Red Bull had like something that was like, you could point at a car and be like, oh, that was a 24 one, that was a 23 one, that was, they have their, like, even invert the colors, make the bull yellow and the thing behind it red, something, right? So we can just be like, oh yeah, and that was the design from that year.
So what are you scoring it?
5.
So I'm really mad right now because I had an entire bit planned where we were going to score this thing. And at the end of it, I was going to say, you guys, you don't even notice that the one on the left is from last year. That's how similar they are. But Adam pretty much immediately called it out by looking at the sponsors on the car. Who knows that kind of stuff? That's insane.
Yo,
You
come
saw the
on.
Claro. You saw the
Superfan.
Claro. And you're like, oh, no, that's
Anti-bit.
wrong. It's actually AT&T. Where's the buy bit? Oh, man, I'm so now. I had a whole thing planned. I was really gonna 5 out of 10. Let's move on.
So, my turn. I asked Mohammed to include these two images because when I saw the one on the left, I was initially like, okay, yeah, I can see kind of what we're going for here. There's like a big white sail situation on the back. You know, it's a bit different. I was like, I can work with it. I like the deeper red. I was like, it's fine. I can work with this. I can live with it. But then when you see it on track, the white doesn't just come down like a triangle, like a Formula E car. It comes down and then it bulges out over the engine cover. And I thought something when I saw this, and now I can't unthink it. But the image that we have here on the right, this is Leclerc on track, right? As the white comes down and then bulges out, all I can see is a bulb of garlic. I'm driving around in an Italian car with a giant bulb of garlic on the back. It's just not good times. And it's like, just with little bits of yellow parmesan sprinkled over it, and like this is just like a flying car of spag ball at 200 miles an hour, and the bulbous like the white on it initially I was like, oh, it's like a white version of Bulbasaur, right? And then I went from Bulbasaur to garlic, and now this car is ruined for me. But the image on the left with the HP is just a straight line down the back, that works for me. I would have preferred it to be the other way. And also, HP being so committed to blue, like on Real Madrid's top, the HP logo is black and white. I don't know why this like blue obsession has come about. But yeah, that's just where I'm at. I'm gonna give it a 5.
Adam, what do you think?
I might no.
Okay, guys,
I'm gonna
if
give
you
it a
had told
3.
me that this was just a garlic Bulbasaur, that's
Adam's
a
on
10
mute,
out of
I
10.
think.
Garlic Bulbasaur, 10 out of 10. This
Are you
car?
on mute? Oh my god, my headphones are dead.
No, we can hear you. We can hear you.
His headphones are dead.
Oh, he can't hear us. Okay.
I can't hear you.
Okay, so 10 out of 10.
Okay, listen. No. I'm saying if it was actually a garlic
Oh.
Bulbasaur, it'd be 10 out of 10. This thing is horrendous, man. So, like, I feel like Arafat does, like this sail on the side. I'm like, okay, I'm listening. For some reason, the white panel calls more attention to all the white sponsors. Like, it's nice to have a covered car, but it's almost too much. But the real sin is the front and rear wing. The white with the blue HP. Like, I know that they're the title sponsor, but there's got to be another way to make this work. Like, the people have done tons of mock-ups now, like turn the HP black or turn it red or something. But gosh, like, I don't remember in like the last 50 years there being a Ferrari this ugly. So that's a 2 out of 10 for me.
Wow, so I think I'm going to go a little bit against the grain. I would have much preferred if the white was gold and matched the gold of the shell. I think that would have looked so nice. But I will give them credit for going back to the darker red. They were away from the really dark red for a while, and where the red where it says Ray-Ban is like a really nice dark red, which I think that works really well. Obviously the white is, it's not ideal. Black would have looked really nice. I think gold would have looked really nice. I don't agree with Arfat saying it looks like a Bulbasaur. Look, that's one angle. Everybody has a bad angle. It's like if you were to take a still shot of a video, you're gonna look bad in it. So I disagree.
Yeah.
But ultimately,
I never look bad.
Ultimately,
It's
I'm
true.
going to say 7 out of 10. It could have been a 10 out of 10 with some slight tweaks, which we didn't get. So 7 out of 10 for that Ferrari. And
okay, what did you say again, Arafat?
So I said 3, but because Mohammed's giving it such a high score, change mine to 1.
Okay.
You can't change scores, or I would have changed other scores in the past.
Yeah, but this is like in the moment. You can change it.
Okay, fine.
You can't like put.
Can
your
I
hand
change?
on the
Can I change
scale
mine to a
after.
10?
Yeah, sure.
10 out of 10.
You can't save this from my score and his score anyway. It's fine.
What's your score?
Mine is a 2. It's the worst Ferrari I can remember.
All right, 10 out of 10. No, I can't give it a 10. It's really not that good. Give my final score as a 7.5, 7.5.
Okay.
Okay. Our last and final team, McLaren.
So I'm going to give this like a 1. And I'm going to give it a 1 because genuinely, McLaren had the biggest build-up to like revealing their car at F175. They had it under like a sheet, and Andrea Stella was there and Zach Brown, and they were going to lift it over the car. And Andrea Stella, just before they did it, he was like, our livery this year, we've basically changed nothing because we want to pay homage to the championship winning car from last year. And it's like, so what are you revealing then? What is like all this build up for the last 7 minutes been for you to and it's not even like they lifted it off and people are like, wow, it looks a lot like last year. And he goes, yes, because last year brought us success. Before they even took the cover off, he just went, by the way, guys, we changed nothing. So I'm like 1 out of 10. Like, what was all of that for?
Adam.
Yeah. For me, it's going to be a 4. I kind of do respect this under the lighting. Like, I'm getting used to papaya. I want Vodafone orange, but like, if this is Bruce McLaren's color, that's fine. Putting the chrome McLaren next to this and then saying, yeah, but now chrome's our browser. Look at our wheels, guys. Like, it's especially pathetic to see good chrome versus bad chrome. And then you dare to put the blue back after it seemed like you understood you can't have blue in your car, and you snuck it back in there. You know what? 0. Now that I'm taught, 0 out of 10.
Actually, I was talking about Aston Martin having their lines wrong.
Yeah.
So that's a single line for the Aramco being the wrong way. I've just had a look. The McLaren does it twice. It does it once by the Velo logo and then once behind the OK logo going up to the chrome. There are 2 lines that run this way because lines that run the opposite way convey speed. Lines that run this way are blocky because they go against the natural lines of the car. So yeah, I'm giving it a 0 as well because
you guys,
my line problem.
You guys overthink this stuff so much. Okay, I'm going based on vibes. I like last year. They kept it the same. If I'm gonna take points away from making it worse, I gotta at least give them points for keeping it the same. Where I think it looks fine. 8 out of 10.
Wow, get out of here, man. Do you see that blue? Do you see the chrome wheels?
I like it. It's fine. It works.
Okay, all right. Someone loves browsing on his Chrome.
Okay, folks. Thank you for joining us for that.
Wait, you gotta give me the podium, man.
I know,
Come
yeah,
on,
I want it too. By the way, Adam, the shirt looks so good. I can't stop looking at
it's actually dark green too, not black.
Oh wow.
It doesn't come through that well. It's sick.
It looks so good.
Yeah, thank you very much. They say that the sweaters and jackets looked even better. I just like.
Alright, you look like Toto Wolff with that jacket on.
Peanuts. Listen, DNS/DNF. That's McLaren.
Why?
Here's hoping, man.
I gave them an 8.
I can't do this. Like, I just can't. This year has to be McLaren and Ferrari take each other out like 2008 again. I just can't live like this. I can't see Zach Brown this happy for this long. Anyway, that's last. Honorable mention, bringing up the podium, is Haas with 21. And now the podium proper, in 3rd place with 23 points, is Sauber. Number 2, 2nd place with 27 points, is Alpine. Huge turnaround from last year. And
the only perfect
unanimously, unassailably, Esteban Ocon. It's the Minardi with a pure 30 points. I'm
a little frustrated that the first place winners were so obvious this year. Like, we just knew it. Like, everyone knew it. Also hilarious.
What do Esteban Ocon and Racing Bulls have in common?
They're not good, but they're.
But they look good.
Yeah, they look so good.
But they're not gonna win.
I would love either of those things to come true, though. Man, Haas or Minardi on the podium.
All right, guys, everybody, thank you so much for joining us on our season welcome back video. We hope you enjoyed that. We're gonna chop this up for YouTube, but audio people will get this whole thing uninterrupted.
An exciting season. Only the FIA could ruin a season this good.
Indeed.
Stay
Bye.
Tuned. Bye, Flexi Wing.
They'll find a way.
They already did. Did you see how they've ruined Red Bull's chances of rebounding because of this Flexi Wing edict after they spent all their money on it?
Yeah, I don't know how. I know it will affect people, but I don't know how it will affect who. it's just something we're going to see. And then after like race 9, suddenly everything changes, and we'll see how that affects people.
Yeah. I'm really sad about it, though, I have to be honest with you. Like, they're screwing it up already. Like, Red Bull's already not doing that well. They don't need to be treated like last era's Mercedes, where you have to try to kneecap them at all times. There are budget caps now. Like, this wasn't necessary. It feels targeted.
I am reveling in it.
Yeah, but it's not going to be good for you either, right? It's only good for McLaren.
I don't know. I'm gonna enjoy it regardless of who wins.
Oh yeah, no, I see what you mean. But like their intervention on the rules only benefits McLaren and Mercedes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want George Russell winning.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Andrea's going to be tough.
We will be back hopefully with another episode before the first race of the season. In the meantime, enjoy. Bye.
Bye.